Yo guys, what is up? Maxi here in our first Descendant video, and today we got the official patch notes for season 2. Now currently at the time of recording this, it is about 12:30. The servers are going down. The actual season won't start until the server maintenance happens. And I also just took a bunch of sleep medication to go get a good night of rest. And then they dropped these notes. So I'm not going to go over everything here. I just want to kind of talk about the new things. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you've seen me explain and talk about these dungeons and Keelan and Ultimate Sharon. But we did learn a lot of new things in these patch notes, such as the 28 plus new mods getting added and so on. So I want to cover really the big new things, and then I'll have a full breakdown once we can get into game and see all the new skins and stuff tomorrow. So to start, we've got the new episode Void Chaser, which is going to give a new main quest. We've also got the new Void Vessel, which is going to be a dungeon-like content where we're going to be fighting Dread Armor. It's also where you're going to be farming Keelan and the Fellow. We've got Keelan's skills, which I have gone over in a previous video. I'll have a full breakdown of him. But we also learned about his Transcendent modules, which seem quite strong. His first one is called Focus on Prey, which gives him Void Corrosion. Basically, Void Corrosion is converted to target a single target rather than multiple targets with an increased fire count. The max stacks of acidic decay is increased, increasing the peak of tremor by the acidic decay stack count. So basically how this works is you're going to apply your 2 ability to a boss. This is a single target bossing now is what this thing is going to do, where we're going to be able to get more stacks of this Void Corrosion on a boss, and then Tremor detonates all of those Void Corrosions, and it's going to give us our higher stack count. So this turns from what could have been a pretty decent single target ability to potentially a boss nuke. I'm very curious to try this out. And then Mobile Strike converts Septic Gust to grant Adventurous Spirit to the player. So we get this buff rather than dealing damage with our third ability. And then while Adventurous Spirit is in effect, using Onslaught, which is the dash skill, does not decrease the stack count and causes additional dot damage by granting Accelerate Corrosion to the pierced target. Basically sounds like we could just kind of infinitely dash, basically. That sounds really, really cool. And you can get these through hard infiltration operations, intercept battles, and module combines. We also have Ultimate Sharon getting added. Talked about her Transcendent modules already. We've got the way that we're going to be acquiring her. Once again, I will have a full Ultimate Sharon video out. Voltia is coming in the Battle Pass. It's going to have the ability to chain damage and break anti-void shields and anti-archy shields. It looks like it's going to be really cool. Next, we're getting the Hammer and Anvil. This is going to be the new farmed weapon. It basically has 2 different firing modes between hip firing and aiming down sights. It sounds like the rifled anvil fires gyrojet explosive rounds, which apply speed reduction to enemies when they explode on them, and then a larger damage is dealt when max range explosion compared to collision explosion, firing addition Kuiper shells at the explosion point. The translation on this is pretty confusing. I'm not sure what that does, but it sounds like it's going to cause a bunch of explosions, and it's a shotgun, so that sounds pretty cool to me. We also get the new Hunter ultimate set. This is farmed from killing the commander in Void Vessel. This set actually looks pretty freaking good. The 2-set bonus is minus 4% skill cooldown, so literally good on anyone. And then its 4-piece gives you MP recovery in combat and MP recovery out of combat, but you also get Arcus Shield when your MP is at 50% or lower, and then while you have your Arcus Shield, your firearm attack is reduced by 12%. Doesn't sound very great, but it removes this debuff upon getting hit when your MP is at 50% or lower. So it's literally as soon as you take damage, this goes away, and then all of a sudden you get 30% of your MP back with a 5-second cooldown. So on any character that's very mana hungry, this just seems kind of insane. My first thought was using this on Haley with her ability that just constantly drains mana, but you get to fire. Haley can be very mana hungry, especially if you're spamming the 1 ability. This seems like a really good way to solve mana issues on a lot of Descendants. So that seems actually really cool. Hopefully we can roll some pretty good health rolls on this thing, but we will see. Then we get to 28 new modules. We've got the General Rounds handgun exclusive Tenacious Hunter, which upon reloading, you increase your weak point damage by 5% for 3 seconds. Each successful weak point hit during the effect gives you plus 5% weak point damage up to 20 stacks. Damn. Okay, that sounds really good. Uh, yeah, made 100% weak point. That was pretty nice. That is a handgun exclusive. That sounds very powerful. Then we get a bunch of general rounds things where you just get like 90% increased elemental um damage. So you get like 90 or 89.6% chill attack, or I was curious how they do like 89.6 and not just like 90, but like 90% electrical attack, all these different attacks for the different elements. They did kind of want to say that they want to add like more elemental scaling into the game. We've also got another general rounds for upon successful advantage affinity, weak point damage plus 4%, and advantage affinity damage modifier plus 5%. You get up to 10 stacks, minus 2 stacks with a failed advantage affinity attack. We don't know what that is quite yet, but it sounds like it is potentially pretty good. And we've got this for a few other things where we get weak point stacking. Then we've got for special slash beam rifle exclusives, consecutive hits on the target give us stacking firearm attack and reduced defense up to 20 stacks. That seems really good. You just like lower defense with beam rifles by 30% and give yourself more attack. I actually like that a lot. That seems like that would work with the Voltia now. That seems really cool. We also have that with other things. So that was like fire attack. We've got it with chill. You'd obviously want to use the like electric thing with the Voltia. Toxic attack. We've got special rounds burn effect. Players upon inflicting frostbite, you get chill attack. So these are all like ultimate mods. If you proc on special rounds, if you proc like electrocution, you get 89% increased electric attack for 5 seconds. I don't love the like 20% cooldown, but I kind of get why there's cooldown with such a big effect. We'll obviously have to test all these things and see how they go. We've also got the kind of similar mods for impact rounds where you could just get 89% more elemental stuff, more successful advantageous stuff, and also more if you proc a debuff, you get like 90% increased damage stuff. All looks pretty good. Obviously, we're gonna have to do the math on like, if it outweighs current other options, but looking pretty strong. We also got Fellow added in the update. He's going to be able to auto dismantle and auto pick up items for us, which sounds like so nice. I cannot wait to have Fellow. You can also like view all fellows or only view your own fellow if you're playing with a bunch of people and there's like too many doggies running around. But that sounds pretty great to me, so I'm probably not going to turn that off. Next, we get to inversion reinforcement. They did some pretty big changes here. Basically, they buffed up all of the positives. You can see like max HP for biodensity is from 9 to 11. Shield went up from 6.6 to 8.1, basically buffed everything. And then they made these fire rounds, or like the rounds ones, basically give you 25% increased added damage of an element, which seems really strong. Obviously, when we're pairing like 90% increased elemental damage with the ability to get added 25% elemental damage, seems like elemental damage is definitely working its way up there. It looks really strong. I kind of tried to ask them about this, but like technically crit scale element. So like if you crit with a weapon and that weapon is still like elemental damage, the elemental scales with the crit. So like crit element is probably going to be pretty broken. But we shall see. It didn't look like you were sacrificing any amount of crit damage for all that elemental damage. But yeah, once again, need to do a lot of testing on that. All of these are basically buffed. You're going to be getting more MP, more HP. Whenever you use a grappling hook, you recover 3% of your max shield every 0.1 seconds while using grappling hook to get 30% of your shield back with a 25-second cooldown. It's pretty nice for shield builds, especially against Deathstalker. Heightened Sensory, we recover 20% of our max HP and 8.5% of our max MP, but it stacks up to 4 times. That seems pretty gross. Void resistance, when your HP is 50% or less during intercept boss battles, grants void resistance. Void resistance, you just take 16% less damage. That looks good. Upon successfully hitting an enemy, inflict the antibody explosion effect. All movement speed plus 2,000 for 30 seconds. Okay. Wow, everyone's bunny now, and bunny is super bunny. That sounds pretty insane. When defeating an enemy, inflict a vitality burst, which gives you healing and shield back. Ooh, Ajax enjoyers and Enzo enjoyers up big. We like that a lot. Abyss enchantment. When defeating an enemy, inflict abyss enchantment effect. Abyss enchantment, the incoming damage modifier is less, and grappling hook charge time is less. Oh, they're really going in on like giving us more movement options. I like that a lot. Enhanced arcade potential. When obtaining HP and MP recovery orbs, grant enhanced arcade potential, which gives you all attribute resistance, which stacks 10 times. Damn. It doesn't have a decay on this that I'm seeing. Like it would decay. That just looks like a whole bunch of extra resistances. When defeating an enemy, you get an adrenaline rush, which gives you movement speed, 16% movement speed for 10 seconds. That's great. Photon stacking. Grant photon stacking on hitting 3 or more enemies with Voltia, which gives you more damage for Voltia and faster charging. That seems cool. Explosive foraging. When changing hammer and anvil to anvil mode, grant explosive foraging. It gives you more shells. This is basically like more pellets and less skill cost. That's awesome. Arcade boost grants arcade boost on hitting 5 or more enemies with the skill. Arcade boost gives you 15% skill cooldown and skill speed and range by 11%. That's really good too. Grant quantum domain skill effect, range, and skill power. Up to 15 stacks of skill range and skill power. Dang. Okay. Wow. So I'll probably do like a larger breakdown once I actually get to test them, but all of this stuff looks pretty good. I like that everything seems pretty strong, so you're actually going to have to make decisions when we're picking these buffs. Before it was like, what's the least bad buff? Now it's like, what's actually the best for my build? So I think they're definitely coming up with better things here, and they're a lot more interesting. We also get the target reward system. You'll basically be able to target farm things with a pity system. So if you don't get the thing you want, you will just get it guaranteed after a certain amount of tries. Gonna need to give that a go. We get the Infernal Walker. Looks very cool. Rather than normal attacks, use Chill, the attribute that the Infernal Walker is vulnerable to. So confirmed, Chill is going to be good against this. Probably why we saw Haley in the footage fighting against it. That will be very interesting. I plan on trying to solo this, maybe day one. See how we do. And then they also added the hard special operations. We can now rank up our reactors to level 5, but we're going to need a new material to enhance them from 3 to 5, which are dimension analyzers, which we need the new quantum incubator for, ion accelerators, and precise ion accelerators. Hopefully I have enough of those. And then they also added a new battle pass. I'm going to have like a full battle pass video tomorrow, but they added a bunch of cosmetics. We also get the advanced shape stabilizers, which you use it to like reverse your reward. So if you have a 6% drop chance, you just change it to 32% and just get the thing that you need. They also added a ring menu, which looks very nice. Bunch of UI improvements, especially for console, for navigating through the menus. We also get the Happy Holidays event, which is going to give us a bunch of rewards, ultimate weapons, transcendent modules, paint, fellow growth food. I think this is what you need to level up the fellow to level 30. We also get token exchanges to get a whole bunch of catalysts, energy activators, boosters, and everything. They're kind of going crazy with the events. It's going to give us cosmetics. They're like running multiple events. There's also going to be Twitch drops if you want to come drop by the stream and get some drops. It looks like there's a ton of things going on. I'm really excited to try the new dungeon content and the new boss. I think season 1 fell a little bit flat, but it didn't really matter because they added so many quality of life and build changing things and so much more that it really extended my playtime. Hopefully the content here is going to be really great, and it looks like they're on the right track, adding a bunch of new mods and a bunch of new buffs and ways to scale our character. And if the new content is hard, getting to min-max kind of all over again is going to be sick. So yeah, guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. I will catch you all in the next one. I'm going to go pass out, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for season 2. All right, peace.